Welcome everyone. A little bit later than expected tonight, but we're here and we are at the final game of this three-game series between the Colorado Rockies and the Athletics, who have no city name. And this is game number 9. It was played Sunday, August the 6th. Starting pitchers, and this will be my first time ever playing a game in Strat-O-Matic where the nameless player is the starting pitcher. Usually it's the batter. In this case, it's the starting pitcher, Joey Estes, not carded by Strat. He only went 3 innings real world, and then Mitch Spence, who is also a starter, came in and pitched 4 innings. So that's my plan to use him here. I'll use him at best 3 innings, and then Spence will try to carry the load the rest of the way. Just called up for the Rockies is Chase Dolander, and he'll be making the start tonight, his first start of the season. On the 2025 season, he was not very good, obviously. 2-12 with a 6.52 earned run average. And as you might expect, just had my pen a second ago. Here it is. As you might expect, in Coors Field, it's friendly for singles, so-so for home runs. The Rockies won this real game 12-5 as they really beat up Estes. That's why Estes only went 3 innings. They really took it to him. So, in our replay, the Rockies are now 2-6. Athletics are 2-7. Rockies have a chance to actually sweep the series, which would be just totally amazing after their ineptness in the first 6 games of the season. So, we will put Mr. non-carded Joey Estes to the side for now, and we'll concentrate on Chase Dolander. And for the A's, we will have Lawrence Butler leading things off. Hello, Dav. Hello, Philip. And hello, John. Good to see all of you. So we will get this ball rolling. Tabby's right here, but she's being quiet, which is obviously a good thing. So here we go. Dolander to Butler. That's a 2-6, and Butler's a lefty against the righty Dolander. 2-6 is a strikeout. It's a good start for Dolander. Dolander is a +7 on his hold, so obviously +5 on the pitcher-catcher hold rating. The backup catcher for the Athletics, a fellow by the name of, if I can find his card here, a fellow by the name of Johnny Pareda. He later ends up with the Minnesota Twins, but he starts the season with the Athletics. He is the backup catcher, and he has a +1 hold. And Estes, I don't know what his hold is. So I'm just going to rate him as a 0 because I don't know. Doesn't say. I have no way of knowing. And these cards don't tell you what the hold is. So I can only assume he's a 0 hold, and we'll just go with that. All right, so here is Brent Rooker. Hello, Dale. Good evening to you. Here's Rooker, the DH, 2-9 for Rooker. And that's a 1-4 for a triple. 5-20 is a double. And that's going to be a double for Brent Rooker. I am trying to follow this Rocky replay day by day, the exact day of the week they played each game. That's why we're on a Sunday game. Now, Monday, they are off. So there will be no game tomorrow night at all as far as the Rockies go. No game tomorrow night because they are off, but they will resume on Tuesday night, starting a 3-game series with the Brewers before they hit the road again. But they'll be back at Coors Field for a 3-game set. All right, so 1-out double, and here comes J.J. Bleday. That's a 2-5 for Bleday, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 2. 2 down for Tyler Soderstrom. And it's a clutch situation where he will lose some hits, 1-5 and 1-12 and 2-2. So there's nothing on the havoc. Here's Soderstrom, 2-12, and that's a single to right field for Soderstrom. Right fielder arm is Martini. He's a 0. Rooker runs as a 13, not being held as a 14. 2 outs makes him a 16. So 1-16, he will score, and he does. RBI single from Soderstrom, and the Athletics lead it 1-0. And by my house rules, since Soderstrom runs at a 12 or less, he does not take the extra base on the overthrow. By my house rule, it has to be a 13 speed or higher. So he will stay at first base. Otherwise, I probably would have cut the throw. But that's just in case you're curious. That's my house rule for moving up. So here's Jacob Wilson, shortstop. And that's a 3-3 for Wilson. Ground ball first base C. Tolia gets it, flips to Dolander covering, and that'll do it for the Athletics. So they get a run. We go to the bottom of the first, and it is Athletics 1, Rockies coming to bat, and Joey Estes, who is uncarded. And let me see, I think he's a right-hander, but let me double-check the box score again and make sure. Oops. I believe he's right-handed. Yes, he is. He's a right-handed pitcher. So at least we got that much of it down. He is a right-handed pitcher. Facing Brent Doyle, center fielder. That's a 6'11". It's a ground ball pitcher X. Now, here's another one. I don't know what his defensive rating is. So I'm going to rate him a 3. And what's the average pitcher defense here? 3 and a, let's see what the error rating might be. What are some of the error? I'll rate him a 3 and an E20. How about that? I'm just going to pick a number out of the blue. 3 and an E20. 3 and a 16, he'll get to that. E20. Oops. E20 and a 10. There's a 10 right here, so that's going to be an error on Estes. Like I said, I don't know how to rule it because they don't tell you. So let me check. There were instructions. Get proper English here. There are instructions on here. Let's see. Pitcher. That's advanced fielding, not super advanced. I don't think they're rated for super advanced. But it says pitcher E20 is average. So that's what I used was an E20. So I'll keep this little cheat sheet out just in case. But I did use an E20 because that is what they call average. And he found the error anyway. So there's an error on Mr. Estes. And Doyle will reach on the E1. Doyle is going to try to get the lead. Needs a 4 or a 6 to obtain the lead. That's a 2, though. And we're looking at the balk rating. Well, I'm going to say it's a balk 0 because I'm going to look at his stats. I doubt he only pitched so many innings. I doubt he even had a balk. I'll double check it just to make sure there were no balks. He only pitched 11 innings real world. He had no balk, so 0 balk for sure. All right, here's but that means that Doyle can't get the lead. So here's Ezekiel Tovar, and that is a 2-7 for Tovar, and that's a pop out to short, 1 away. But I am going to max him at 3 innings because that's what he pitched in the real game. All right, here's Ryan McMahon. That's a 6-5, and that's a fly ball to center field. 2 down. And the card I'm using for him is a card that is rated poor or very poor everywhere because his ERA was like 9 point something. So I picked the worst one that I could find in the nameless players. All right, here is Hunter Goodman. It's a 5-6, and he flies to left, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing there for the Rockies in the first. We go to the second. It's 1-0 Athletics. Dolander back out. He'll face Miguel Andujar to start things off. It's a 1-6, and that's going to be a fly to right field. Hauled in out there by Martini. 1 down for Gio Urshela. 3-4, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Dolander. And I can't look at the name Dolander without thinking about that silly movie Zoolander. Here's Johnny Pareda, 6'9", and that's a double 1 to an 11, single 12 to 20. And that is a double for the backup catcher Pareda. And that'll bring up Max Muncy in a clutch situation. Muncy in the clutch, loses a hit on 3-5, and that's it. 3-11, though, is going to be a ground ball to second, handled by Freeman, and the inning is over. Nothing for the Athletics in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Athletics. And Michael Tolia steps to the plate. I'm sorry, not Michael Tolia. Got out of order here. Chris Bryant. So we got nameless player against nameless player. How's that for something? Nameless player Chris Bryant against nameless player Joey Estes. That's definitely a first as well. First look. So you're getting first look. Remember, I talked the other day about first look. This is first look. This is definitely a first look of nameless player versus nameless player. I challenge you to show me anybody on YouTube that has played a game where we had a pitching matchup of nameless player against nameless player. This has to be a first look. I might even put that in the title just to get some clickbait. 5-9, and that's going to be a base hit for Chris Bryant. That'll bring up Tolia. That is a 4-9, and he's a switcher to batting left, so that's a base hit to center field. Bryant is definitely a station-to-station runner. So first and second, nobody out for Nick Martini. Spence did not pitch in yesterday's game, so he's rested. Gonna have to be. 4-10, lefty. 4-10, ground ball shortstop B. We get a fielder's choice. Bryant goes to third. Martini safe on the fielder's choice. Runners on the corners, 1 out for second baseman Tyler Freeman. Hey, Tabby. He's over here looking at me. Wonder what I was doing here. 3-7 for Freeman. And that's a fly to center field B. Potential sacrifice fly. Center fielder arm is a -2, though, for Blade, and Bryant doesn't run well. So you do add the 2, but that would make it a 1-10, 1-12, 1-10, back to 1-10. So be a 50-50 shot, but they're going to hold him there at third base and leave it up to Moniak the Maniac. See if he can bring home the run in the clutch situation. He does gain a hit on 2-3. Mickey Moniak runs at the corners, 2 outs. 2-9, and Moniak lines to short to end the inning. So Estes pitching well. Maybe we'll get him 4 innings. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. I don't know what a point of weakness inning would be for a nameless pitcher. It doesn't give a fatigue, so I have no idea. I do know in the real season, looking at Estes' numbers, he had 3 games pitched, 2 starts, and went 11 innings total. So each of his starts, 1 start he went 4 innings, and 1 start he went 3 innings. So this is technically his second start of the season. He had one against the Cubs, I believe, or the White Sox. It was a Chicago team. I forgot who it was. But I'll let him go 4 innings as long as he's effective. All right, top of the third, and here's Butler. 6'8", lefty. Struck him out. 4th strikeout for Dolander. 1 away for Brent Rooker, designated hitter. Doubled and scored his first trip. 3-3, and that's a hit by pitch. Gets plunked. So Rooker is aboard on the hit by pitch, and here's J.J. Blade. 1-11, and that's ground ball pitcher A. That'll be a double play. 1-6-3 double play to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0. Colorado won this game real world 12-5, but we're not getting the runs yet like they had in the real game. Here's Brent Doyle. That is a 2-11. And that is a ballpark single check. 1-19 should be just about automatic, which it is. And now Doyle will try for the lead. He needs a 4 or a 6. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. Here's Tovar. 4-7, and that is a strikeout. I'm sorry, it's 1-7. Why is it saying 1-7? I got the batting card out. How did I pull a batting card? It's supposed to be a pitching card. Did I get the pitching and the batting card mixed up? Hold on here, folks. Thought something looked weird there. me get the pitching card out. Where's the pitching card with 4 ratings? Let me find that real quick. No wonder he was doing so well. All right, there's a pitching card. I should have caught that earlier. I just noticed it was a 1. So that was really weird. Using the wrong card here. But that's all right. It's the Rockies Horror Baseball Show for a reason. So we'll go with it. And so it was 4-7 was the roll. So 1 to 3 for a single. 4 to 20 he lines out. And that's a line out for out number 1. One away. Glad I caught that. Wish I caught it earlier, but I didn't. All right, here's McMahon. 5-7. And that's going to be a ground ball, second base X. Chance for a double play. Second baseman Muncy, though, is a 4. 4 and a 13 probably won't be a double play. Probably a fielder's choice. G2 most likely. 4 and a 13 is actually a G3. So his only play is to first base. His error rating is a 32. So he's got to avoid 11, 15, 17, and 18. And that's a 15, so that's going to be an error. So if we look again at E32, a 15 is an E1, or one base error, not E1. It's actually E4, but it's a one base error. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Hunter Goodman. That's a 1-8 for Goodman, struck him out. 2 away. First strikeout for Estes. And now we've got nameless player against nameless player. Just how it goes. Oh, that's what I had the cards backwards. That's why. This was the card I used for Brian is what I should have been using for the pitcher. And let me get my other card for Brian out. That's what was throwing me off. I had them mixed in backwards, apparently. This is the card we need for Chris Bryant. It's batting card. All right. Here we go. Chris Bryant, first and second, 2 outs. There is no clutch rating, or there are no clutch ratings on the nameless player cards. 4-11, that's a fly ball left field X. That is Andujar. He's a 4. 4 and a 17, he'll get to that. He is an E10 in left field. E10 for a left fielder. E10 left fielder, he's got to avoid 3, 4, and then 14 through 18. So 14 through 18 is the primary ones he's got to worry about. And that is a 13. So I think I said 14 through 18 is what he had to avoid. Yep, he did. So 13's okay. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over. So we will keep Estes for 1 more inning. But I will cap him at 4 innings. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll let him keep going. I don't know. It's a wild game anyway. All these nameless players. All right, here's Soderstrom. 6'4", lefty. Ground ball shortstop X. Tovar is a 2. 2 and a 17 is good. He's an E16. His only error chances on E16 are 14 and 17. And he's fine there to make that play. Soderstrom is out. 1 away, Jacob Wilson. I have a little bit too bright here. So drop this one here. Maybe that helps. Wilson, 2-10. And it's ground ball to second. Easy play for Freeman. 2 up, 2 down for Miguel Andujar. 3-9, and he's going to ground it back to Dolander. And that's going to do it for the Athletics. 1-0, we go to the bottom of the 4th. Estes back out, facing Tolia. Oh, that got held up. Let's re-roll the whole thing. 1-3 for Tolia is a 1-12 double. 13-20, he flies to center, and that's a double for Tolia. He's 2 for 2. Nick Martini, the batter. 6'4", and that's a ground ball third base X. We are looking at Urshela. He's a 4 E10 for Urshela. Ooh, 4 and a 3. That's going to get through for a base hit. Should score the run. 4 and a 3 is a single, 2 stars, so that will score Tolia. And we got a tie ball game. Checking for the error on Urshela, E10, as a third baseman. He's got to avoid 13, 17, and 18, which he does. So it won't be an error, but it will be a base hit. And that'll bring up Tyler Freeman. That is a 6-8. That's a single to left field, first and second, nobody out. And here comes the Moniac the Maniac. It's a 1, but he has a wild pitch rating. 3-8, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Estes, 2 down, or 1 away rather, for Brenton Doyle. 4-6, and that's a walk. That'll load the bases. And I think that's going to do it for our nameless pitcher. So Estes will leave the game. And coming in is Mitch Spence. Spence, 3-6, 5.10 ERA, 8 starts, 1 save. So he's going to come in and try to piggyback off Estes. He was hoping to start an inning clean, but he's going to be called into duty now. They were going to try and let him come in the 5th, but they can't wait the way Estes was pitching. So we're going to drop Estes at 3 1/3 innings pitching. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. He walks 1, strikes out 2. And to be fair on him, they've had 2 errors committed in back of him. So Tovar the batter, 1 out infield, looking for the double play to get out of the inning. Now a 1-1 game, bases loaded, 1 out. 5-3. It's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Andujar. He's a 4. 4 and a 9 might be an out, but if it is, it's going to be a sacrifice fly. 4 and a 9 is actually a single, 2 stars. So 2 runs will come in, and the Rockies lead it 3-1. Going to third is Doyle. 2-run single for Ezekiel Tovar. Spence is also a +1 hold. Rockies now lead it 3-1. And we can now close the book on Estes. He's going to give up the 3 runs. All earned. Let's see. Tovar is going to be looking to get a lead. He needs a 3 through 6. And he gets the 6. He's going to go. 15 being held as a 13 +1's a 14. 1 to 14, he is safe. And he is in there. Stolen base for Tovar. So second and third, only 1 out. It's going to force the Athletics to bring the infield in for the Ryan McMahon at bat. And that's a 6-4. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Wilson. He's a 3. 3 and a 17 should be a G1, I would think. 3 and a 17 is a G1. So that should hold the runners. And he is an E10 in short. Got to avoid 16, 17, and 18. Ooh, 15 he barely did, but he does make the play. Freezes the runners at second and third, 2 down for Hunter Goodman. Clutch situation for Goodman. And in the clutch, he loses a hit on 3-11. 4-6 is a strikeout for Spence, and that's going to do it for the Rockies. But the Rockies take a 3-1 lead, and we go to the top of the 5th. And this will be the fatigue inning for Chase Dolander. He has to finish this inning to qualify for a win. Facing Urshela. That's a 3-5 for Urshela, and he walks. And for Dolander, that is his first walk. They'll send up Johnny Pareda, the backup catcher, as they give Langoliers the game off. 4-6, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks, 1 more base runner, and he will reach fatigue. And it's going to be Max Muncy. with the off day tomorrow, they can tax their bullpen all they want because they're going to get a rest. 3-6, that's a fly to right on the way. One down for Lawrence Butler. 6-9 lefty, and that's an in-home run, 1-5. 6-20 is a fly out, and that's a fly to right field, 2 down. So Dolander, one more out to get to qualify for the win, assuming the bullpen can hold it. Rooker, 5-8, and that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Dolander's actually going to pitch into the 6th as well, because he has not quite yet reached fatigue. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-1. Spence back out, and he'll be facing Chris Bryant. You get a 2-5 for Bryant, and that's a fly to right field. On the way for Tolia. 3-4 for Tolia. He's going to draw a walk. He's reached base all 3 times. Here's Nick Martini. 6-7, 1-8, and 9-20 for a single. That's a 9. It'll be a base hit, but it's 2 stars. Runners at first and third. 1 out for Tyler Freeman. Athletics back for the double play. 6-8, and that's going to be a fly to right field B, sacrifice fly for Tyler Freeman. That will score Tolia, and the Rockies increase the lead to 4-1. Here comes Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 4-10, ground ball third base X. We're looking at Urshela for 4-E10. 4-18 is good. E10. And a 6. I don't think that's going to be an issue whatsoever. At third base, E10 and a 6. Nope, no 6. So Urshela will make the play. Rockies add to the lead. It's now 4-1 as we head to the 6th. Dolander back out for the 6th inning, but he does have some backup in the bullpen. Looking at the Rockies bullpen, they have Tyler Kinley loosening in the bullpen for the Rockies. Right now, it's going to be J.J. Bleday, Soderstrom, and Wilson start the 6th. 1-7 for Bleday, and he's going to walk. Third walk for Dolander. One more base runner, and he will be tired. Soderstrom. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Second baseman, Freeman of 4E13, 4 and a 13. See if we can get to this. 4 and a 13 is a G3, so the runner will advance. He's an E13. So at second base, E13's got to avoid 14 and 18. 16, he does that. So it's a 4-3 ground out with the runner advancing to second. So Bleday takes second base, 1 out for Jacob Wilson. 6-10 for Wilson, fly to center, 2 down. For Miguel Andujar in the clutch. And Andujar in the clutch will gain a hit, 1-6. 2-4, and that's a single 2 stars. That will score the run. Cut the lead to 4-2. Now Dolander is fatigued. But I think they're going to try to get him through the inning with 2 outs. So he's going to stay in there against Urshela. If he doesn't get Urshela, he's coming out. 6-7, and that's another ground ball second base X. This one again, Freeman of 4. 4 and 15, he'll get to it. E13, once again at second base, and E13, he's got to avoid 14 and 18, which he does to end the inning. That'll do it for Dolander. He's going to go 6 innings, and he does qualify for the win if the bullpen can hold it. We'll do his numbers real quick. He did walk 3, struck out, looks like 5. Going to give up 1, 2, 3. Got him for 4 hits. 2 runs, they were earned. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a hit batter. But he will leave with the lead, and in the 7th inning, they will go to Tyler Kinley out of the bullpen. He's a +6 hole, which makes him a +5 as well. Bottom of the 6th, Mitch Spence back out, and he will be facing top of the order, Brenton Doyle. Now a 4-2 Rockies lead here in the bottom of the 6th. 6-4, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Wilson, the 3-E10. 3 and a 6 is going to be close, but I think he'll get it. 3 and a 6 is a G3, so he's good there. E10, he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does. So Wilson will make the play. 1 down for Tovar. And don't forget, tomorrow morning at roughly 9:15, somewhere in that neighborhood, we pick back up with the July 2nd date on the 1987 American League replay. Not even sure of the game yet. Haven't picked it out. I'll pick it out tomorrow morning. All right, here's Tovar. 3-9, and that's going to be a strikeout. For Spence, that is strikeout number 2. And it's going to bring up McMahon, 2 outs, bases empty. 6-8 lefty, ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. So a good outing for Spence there so far. As he tries to eat some innings. And now we will go to the top of the 7th, and the new pitcher coming on for the Rockies will be Tyler Kinley. He later gets picked up by Atlanta. Right now, though, well, combined between Colorado and Atlanta, he went 6-3, 3.96 ERA, and 3 saves. So Tyler Kinley is on. He's going to be facing Pareda, Muncy, and Butler. Pareda, Muncy, and Butler. 4-6, and that's going to be a fly to center. 1 away for Max Muncy. 5-2. Fly ball to center again. 2 down. For Lawrence Butler. That's a 3-4. And that's going to be a fly to center again. So all 3 outs, fly outs to center field. Very easy inning for Kinley. He'll come back and pitch an 8th, as he only faced 3 batters. Now Spence out. Trying to go the 4 innings he needs to cover the gap. Here's Goodman, 1-6, and that's a 1-16 single. 17-20 he grounds out, and that's a single. First hit of the game for Goodman. And, of course, that'll bring up Chris Bryant. .410, that's a ground ball third base X. That's Urshela. He's a 4. 4 and a 13. Probably just a G3 here. 4 and a 13 is a G3, so the only play is at first base. To avoid the error on the E10 and third baseman, he has to avoid 13, 17, and 18, which he does. But the only play is to first base. Goodman takes second base with 1 out. And now Michael Toglia. Rockies trying to get some insurance runs. Much less scoring game than what it was in real world for sure. 5-3 is a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Andujar. He's a 4. 4 and a 6. That's going to drop for a base hit, and I believe that will score the run as well. It should be a single 2 stars. 4 and 6 is a single 2 stars. So Goodman will come in to score, makes it 5-2 Rockies. RBI single from Toglia. Checking for the error. E10, he's got to avoid basically 14 through 18, which he does. So there's no error on the play. And now it's Nick Martini, the batter. 1 on, 1 in, 1 out. 3-9, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Spence. And here comes Tyler Freeman. Totally at first, but he's not going anywhere. Oh, that got hung up. Let's redo that. Got hung up again. Why is it sticking like that? There we go. 4-12. 4-12. Ground ball to short, and that'll end the inning. So that will do it for Spence. Spence will go 3 2/3 innings. And let's see how many runs he gives up. He gives up 2 runs. They were both earned. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. He walks 1, strikes out 3. So not too bad. I'm sorry, not TJ McFarland. They will go to the guy who hasn't pitched in the whole series, even though he's the closer, but they're behind. They need some work for him anyway. That's Mason Miller. Mason Miller, 1-2, 3.76 ERA and 20 saves. So he is the only pitcher for the A's in the bullpen, for the carded players of their bullpen, who has not entered the game. So he will come in and pitch, even though it's not a save situation. And Kenley will come out and pitch the top of the 8th, since he had a 1-2-3 inning. And let me back this up just a hair, because I'm losing some of the peripheries there. All right, here's Brent Rooker, DH. 3-12 for Rooker, and that's a walk. So leadoff walk for Rooker. And now we're looking at J.J. Bleday. .27 for Bleday, struck him out. Kenley gets the strikeout there, 1 away for Tyler Soderstrom. 3-7, struck him out. 2 strikeouts in a row. Brings up Jacob Wilson. 4-7, and that's a walk for Kenley. So now he's got to be careful about approaching fatigue here very shortly. He's going to be facing Miguel Andujar. And Andujar is the tying run. Clutch situation as well. Andujar in the clutch will gain a hit, 1-6. That's a 6-11 for Kenley, and that's a pop out to short, and that'll do it, for Kenley. And they will turn it over to Halverson to try to get the save, assuming the score remains like it is. So Kenley's going to go 2 innings, give up no hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. No hits, no runs. And Mason Miller coming in to pitch for the Athletics. And he will be facing Moniak the Maniac, and then Doyle and Tovar here in the bottom of the 8th of a 5-2 ball game. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. Brings up Brenton Doyle, top of the order. 4-7, that's another strikeout. Mason Miller can throw gas, that's for sure. I think he got traded to the Padres later in the season, but not sure. Here's Tovar, 6-10, and that's a strikeout. So Miller comes in and strikes out the side. Takes care of business. 1 inning pitch, struck out the side. Can't ask for more than that. Now we go to the Rockies bullpen for their closer, Seth Halverson. He will come on and try to close the deal. Halverson, 1-2, 4.99 ERA and 11 saves in the 25 season. And he has a 3-run lead to work with. What is known as a cheap save in my book when you're ahead by 3. All right, so Urshela, Pareda, and Muncy. But we're going to get some pinch hitting for Oakland. That's for sure. We're going to have Langoliers is going to hit for Pareda for sure. Let's see if we have anybody for Urshela. He hits 238, so we might very well have somebody hit for him. No, we're not. The rest of the bench is awful. So it's going to be Urshela, Langoliers, and Muncy due up for the Athletics. So Langoliers will do the pinch hitting here in the 9th. And if they happen to somehow miraculously tie the game with 3 runs in the 9th, he would stay in the game to catch. But first things first, it's Gio Urshela. That is a 6-5, and that's going to be a walk. Not what he wanted. Did not want to start putting base runners on. Urshela, no threat to run, and his run's not important anyway, so they wouldn't steal to begin with. Here is Langoliers. Langoliers. Six-eight, and that's going to be a double to center field. That's going to put runners at second and third, nobody out. Now things getting a little chippy for the Rockies. They thought they had something cooking, and now they got another member of the bullpen loosening in a hurry, and that would happen to be Victor Vodnik. He was 4-3 with a 3.02 ERA and 10 saves. So Vodnik is loosening in case Halverson can't get the job done. Here's Max Muncy, second and third, nobody out. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance. Halverson has a 0 balk. Infield, of course, is back. 6-7, that's a ground ball, second base X. So we're looking at Freeman. Freeman's a 4E13. 4-17, that should be a G1. It'll get the run home, but it should be a G1. It should get the run home and move the runner on second, Langoliers to third, assuming he doesn't make an error. E13 at second base, he's got to avoid 14 and 18, which he does. But the G1, let's just verify it here. Second and third, infield normal says runners advance. So the runner scores, Urshela. Going to third is Langoliers. And retired on the play on a 4-3 ground out for out number 1 is Muncy. Brings up Lawrence Butler. It is now a 5-3 game. Butler is the tying run at the plate against Halverson. That's a 3-10 for Butler, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-19, that'll score the run, and it will, and that's going to be it for Halverson. They're going to have to turn it over to Vodnik and hope Vodnik can get it done, because Halverson did not. He blows the save for sure. And now we'll go to Victor Vodnik. So Halverson couldn't get it done. -4 makes him a -3. And Halverson's going to go a third of an inning. He's going to give up 2 hits, 2 runs. He's also responsible for Butler, a walk and no strikeouts. So very poor outing there for Halverson. Couldn't get it done. So Victor Vodnik's going to get the call. Now, Butler could try to steal and get the lead, but Vodnik's -4 hold makes that a little bit rougher. And you got Rooker and Blade coming up, so I think they're going to keep Butler where he is, and they will just let Rooker swing away. 1 out, 1 on, 2 in. It's now 5-4. That's a 4-8 on Vodnik, and he struck him out. Vodnik gets the K, and now it's all up to J.J. Blade, last chance for the Athletics to avoid the sweep, to avoid being swept by the lowly Rockies. That's a 6-7, and that is a 1-4 single. Anything else, the game will be over. On a ground ball to Tolia, 1-4 is a single. Anything else, game over. And that's it. That's it. Tolia makes the play. Vodnik saves the day as Halverson almost blew it. Rockies win it by the score of 5-4. Losing pitcher is Estes. Winning pitcher is Dolander. And the save to Vodnik. Vodnik goes 2/3 of an inning. Doesn't give up anything with a strikeout. Rockies sweep the series from the Athletics. Winning this one 5-4. 5 runs, 10 hits. And I don't believe there are errors on anybody. Oh, I'm sorry, it's E4 on the Athletics. They made 1 error. Rockies made none, and 6 hits there. So 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Colorado. 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the Athletics. Rockies improved to 3-6, and Athletics dropped to 2-8. Dolander the winner, 1-0. Vodnik his first save, and Estes, whatever his record would be, I don't know. So Rockies sweep the series, and hopefully I will never have to have another start in this replay with a nameless pitcher, because that certainly was a little bit challenging. Hopefully that won't come up again. And tomorrow night, of course, Rockies have an off day in their replay. And then on Tuesday night, so there'll be no game tomorrow night, but Tuesday night, they start a 3-game set at home against the Milwaukee Brewers, much tougher competition than the Athletics were. So I suspect that they will have a little bit of trouble trying to win 4 in a row. But you never know. That's why you roll the dice, because you never know what the dice are going to come up with. And I'm going to look at the matchup here. First game of the series against the Brewers is going to be Kyle Freeland on the mound against Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. That's going to be the pitching matchup. I believe those are the number 1 starters on both teams. That'll be on Tuesday night, April the 8th, game number 10 in the replay. But from here, the Rockies hang on and win it. A score of 5-4, sweep the series from the Athletics, improve to 3-6 on the replay, and they get to enjoy an off day tomorrow, maybe go play some golf or whatever, and then come back hopefully refreshed Tuesday night and get things underway. So as far as tomorrow goes for the channel, only one stream tomorrow. That'll be in the morning. The 1987 American League replay will continue as we start the July 2nd games. And let me take a look at the July 2nd schedule and see if I can eyeball it and figure out the probable game for that day. Let me check and see who the pitching matchups are and everything else. For 1987, July 2nd, which is a Thursday, July 2nd. So let's see what we got here. We got all new opponents. It looks like they're just about all new opponents. It's going to be the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians from Cleveland Stadium. White Sox and Indians. Ken Schramm against Floyd Bannister. That'll be a game tomorrow morning from Cleveland. So, mistake by the lake. There you go. So, yes, Dab, they are undefeated at home. So, they were 9-50 after 59 games, and then they won 3 in a row after that, and it goes to 12-50. But when I saw the 9-50, that just magically got in my head. So that's why I'm going to commit to the first 59 games. And then if I feel like playing more, I will. If I don't, then I'll be done with them. So, but anyway, that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. I know it's getting a little late, especially for those that have to get up early tomorrow morning. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will catch you all down the road.